Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very 7th episode of our Secrets of the Lost Summit campaign. My name is Kyle, and I will be your dungeon master for tonight. But I'm here hanging out with these nerds. How are you guys doing?
Nerd.
You're a nerd.
I know where you live.
Oh my!
All right.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a start. Okay.
That was a threat.
That was a threat, and I'm scared.
Good.
Okay. Okay. I'll leave Therian alone tonight. 'Cause,
I got these on my birthday trip, and I've been waiting to use them in game.
Ooh.
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 Because I'm a witch.
You're a witch.
Mm-hmm.
You're a witch, Harry.
Is that Endor?
Not the same.
What?
What?
Tyler, in your background, is that Endor?
No, it's Hillshuggle.
It's definitely Endor.
It's Hillshuggle, bro. Look, you got like their houses
Yes,
and
this
stuff.
is
Like, right over
Hillshuggle
here.
too, behind me, for sure.
No,
Right, Kyle? Isn't that Hillshuggle?
I mean, kinda. It's a good real world representation of Hillshire.
I think, Kyle, your exact words were, and I quote,
My exact words were Ewok halflings. Okay.
Ewok halflings. Town
I
of
understand.
Ewok halflings.
I understand.
So,
Hey, cool nails, Michael.
Stinks.
Nice.
They make me feel like a bad bitch, so.
So we're playing Ewok Hunt.
If you want to play Ewok Hunt, that's fine, because that means that you're the stormtroopers.
Ah! No! That game is terrifying.
So we can, if you really want to play that game, I'm sure all of the halflings in Hillshuggle would be totally down to hunting you down in the woods in the middle of the night.
No, they're my friends.
Doesn't mean they're down for a nice game. It's just a game.
Oh, that could be fun.
It could be fun.
Game of death.
If you have something like that prepared, we could totally do that.
I have
Like
everything
manhunt with
prepared
the
all
halflings?
the time.
you have everything prepared.
All the time.
It's a lie.
Would you like to test that theory tonight?
Prepare to
I mean-
eat your words.
Test it as much as you want to. You'll see what happens.
All right, we're traveling to Linares then.
Okay. It's gonna take you the entire session to get there. But okay,
Bro,
go
we're going
ahead.
to Dualtross. Go to Arkmunster, grab a little dinghy, take it across the ocean.
A dinghy.
We can't afford anything else.
Yeah, you know how long that dinghy ride would take?
So very long.
It's a very long dinghy ride.
I mean, I have a broom that flies, and I don't think it runs out of gas.
That's
Wow.
great. For you.
Until an ogre shoots you out of the sky.
In the middle of the ocean?
It's a plane.
Oh, we're talking about going over the ocean still? Okay, I have monsters for the ocean too.
Oh, nice.
Hmm.
Fuck.
Some of them can fly too.
I'll just cast.
I think we'll just stay in Hillshire.
Nah, dude, I'll just cast Destroy Water every 6 seconds and just tunnel my way through the ocean.
I don't know. Were you there when we
Oh,
talked
is
about that,
this the
Tyler?
No.
Well,
What?
Jake and I had a conversation about that. That's hilarious.
Would it work?
Huh?
Would it work?
No, because I mean, you would destroy. I think you destroy like 5 gallons worth of water or something at a time. So you'd have to cast it like over and over again, and then while you were casting it, the ocean would just fill back up that 5 gallons of water that you
It's
destroyed.
10.
Oh, I'm sorry, 10. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Excuse me.
It's 10. That's double. That's a double, dude.
How many spell slots you got though?
Unlimited.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And I got meta magic, so I'll just twin cast it
I know for a fact that all that's a lie.
Ah, bro, meta magic and debt.
You don't have that though.
That's what you think.
No, that's what I know.
You thought I took Warcaster?
You
Nah,
did take
bro.
It literally says
No.
Warcaster on your character sheet.
No, it doesn't. I won't touch
You've
it.
used Warcaster before. You couldn't even try to pull it off that you haven't used it, so you can change it.
Nah,
You've used it.
No proof. No proof. You don't know.
There's definitely proof in the VODs on YouTube of you using
no.
Warcaster to cast inflict wounds on a chimera trying to fly away.
I think Catherine, the historian, would know
Exactly.
the best.
Yeah, we got VODs and Catherine here, so like you're host.
You say we have mods? We are the mods, Kyle.
I said VODs.
VOD.
Oh, I was like mods, dog.
God, Tyler.
That's
Like-
me.
Jeez.
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 Jeez. Jeez.
At least none of our decisions are going to get questioned tonight because Jake's not here.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
That's a great thing.
No.
Yes.
For now. I mean, this is coming from the man who told the Crown's Guard exactly who they were and what they were doing.
I don't know what you're talking about. Let
Oh no, we have bots.
and Catherine.
Yeah.
And Catherine.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice try. It'll be interesting.
It will be.
Need music. So
Is the jukebox still like broken on Roll20?
I don't know. I just clicked on some music and nothing's happening.
Yeah, it's been really janky.
Damn.
Can we work, please?
yo, I forgot about that ability.
You forgot about what?
What?
I forgot about one of my abilities.
Oh.
Yeah, so did I. And Mundari's curse could have helped us a lot. I hear music now.
Yep.
Something music.
Not anymore.
I don't know what's wrong with the jukebox.
If it makes you feel any better, I can.
What'd you say, Tyler?
I said, if it makes you feel any better, I never.
Did not hear
Yeah,
what
you
you said because you
cut
broke
out
up.
real hard there, dude.
I never heard any music.
I hear
Well,
some now.
There's some now. So yeah, we'll I guess we'll just start, doing the thing that we're supposed to be doing while we're here.
That's fun.
Last time
Imagine.
our party made their way towards Hillshuggle, eventually kind of stumbling upon Hillshuggle. A small halfling like village within the Veneman woodlands. You guys got here. Ophelia knows some of the people that live here, but the rest of you was brand new. You walked in, and the halflings here seem to live within the trees. They've carved out big openings and holes at the bases of these like massive redwood-like trees, and they've connected them together through like tarps and whatnot to make like makeshift hallways through the woods to go from tree to tree as if they're different bedrooms. And then they have different walkways and ladders and stairs going around the top of the trees. They've just kind of turned this little chunk of nature into their home without like destroying it in any way. But you guys were able to get there. You met some old people that you knew. There's some new people that you have met as you guys have sat down for, I believe it was afternoon tea. They have this huge table that seems to fit all of Hillshuggle, where everybody just kind of came and sat down for tea, and they sat you down as they introduced their kind of leader comes walking out, and that's kind of where we'll pick up somewhat. You guys watch as this bigger, not like a more like brawny halfling comes out. He's got like dark green kind of robes on, with just kind of like tan regular like clothes underneath it. He's got a bigger brown with like hints of ginger and hints of gray beard, and that going along with his hair on his head, which is kind of swished back, probably about shoulder length. You also notice he has a staff that he's kind of walking out on, like almost like a walking stick. He walks out with it. And he walks out kind of proud, and he sits down at the head of the table, and everybody's kind of just in awe, even though they see him every day staring at him. And he goes, well, by all means, don't wait on me. And they all start drinking their tea. And he looks down the table, and he kind of squints his eyes at you four sitting there. He goes, Danny, is that you?
Yeah, hey, Jackson.
Please introduce me to your friends. I see that one's enjoying the tea. It's really good, isn't it?
It's fantastic, yes.
He likes tea. That's if you recall when I was here, making my way north to find my brother. I found him. That's Jackson.
Jackson, nice to meet you.
And then this is Therion. And Zittlezap is somewhere around here. It's a little
He's
goblin.
probably-
Can't
we'll
miss
say-
him.
He's probably just skulking about, doing what Zittlezap does best. He looks at you and he says hi to all of you, and he goes, Darian, you're a little familiar. Have you come through Hillshuggle before?
Hillshuggle.
Hillshuggle?
Hillshuggle.
Stales.
Have you come through Hillshuggle before?
You go to Stales?
No. This is my first time.
Something about you. Can't put my finger on it. Well, forget about that. What brings you to Hillshuggle?
Actually, that's me.
Yes.
Yes. We
I have
Go ahead
business at Upton Falls.
Ubbin Falls. What
Yeah.
business would you have out there?
Just a lead.
A lead to what? Ubbin Falls is a strange place. Not a lot of people go there. Not a lot there.
I don't really know how to explain it.
Well, he like looks
I
down the
don't really
table
know
and he
myself.
goes, "We have plenty of time. What do you got?"
Basically, we all have really broken, confusing childhoods.
yeah.
By the looks of you, that's what makes a true adventurer.
I think I just I'm gonna unclip my book and I'm just gonna is he sitting across from me?
It's probably he's sitting at the end of the table. And you guys are probably maybe like there's like one halfling between you and him, and probably when he sees you're having a conversation, he's like, "Excuse me," and he like goes down the table a little bit, finds a different seat, and you can slide down.
I just slide to see the and like I open up to like the first page and like I just turn the book and like I push it to him like
He looks like he goes, "This is familiar too. Are you sure you've never been here?"
as my father. Lucan.
Wind Waker. You're his son.
Yes, sir.
Good man. He was a good man.
Was?
One of the best.
Well, I haven't seen him.
It's interesting you use past tense, that's all. If he was still alive, why wouldn't you use present tense?
Well, I mean, is he still alive? He's not here, and you.
We
have
don't
all-
know.
You have all of his possessions. He wore that
You,
armor.
Do you know the disappearances that have been happening?
No. Does it have something to do with this? And he leafs through it and sees that it's empty. And he goes, "You do realize there's only one page in this, right?"
I do.
They have. Okay.
But there's two.
There are two. I can't read any of that. That hurts my brain.
But there have been these large flashes of light back in the cap, and my father, and the people are disappearing after this large flash of light, and that happened to my father 5 years before this started happening.
I've never heard of those here in Hillshuggle. Haven't seen them myself either. But I do remember your father coming through here.
I never knew my father.
We both knew our father.
Ubbin Falls wasn't written when he came through here. He must have figured that out after he left.
There has to be something over there.
It's a weird place. What does this book pertain to?
Do you know who Cadencia is?
Can't say that I do.
Bless you.
She is the goddess of time.
Sounds dangerous.
Extreme. And I don't know why or what, but this book was my father's before me. And after figuring out the ciphers in it with my friends here, our only next lead was really Ubbin Falls.
The goddess of time. Ubbin Falls? It's interesting.
I don't know what could even be there.
He looks at you and he goes, "Well, I don't either, but some of the points you've made. I want you to come to supper tonight. We gather." He just kind of looks at you. We gather around a fire down a little bit south in Hillshuggle.
Of course.
I know somebody who has a story that might help you.
Really?
He takes a sip of his tea.
I appreciate your assistance.
He just kind of nods.
Is that invite only to Therion or to all of us?
Oh, by all means, the more the merrier.
Get shit on.
You know, sir, I really enjoy your eating schedules. It's very interesting. I like it a lot.
That's what us hobbits are known for. I take it you folks, 3 meals?
Maybe sometimes. Maybe
No.
1 or 2.
No idea how you do it.
Don't remember to eat a lot of the time.
Well, as long as you stay here in Hillshuggle, you'll be well fed. And he kind of smacks his belly, and you hear it just kind of like echoes a little bit.
I remember. That's why I loved it here so much. I never forgot to eat. Someone was always reminding me.
I have to have snacks. Because I am a hungry boy.
Well, I'm glad you bring that appetite to dinner and then to supper, and I'll find my friend. He is a wonderful storyteller.
Thank you.
And just kind of nods, and then he kind of gets up and he says, "Well, please, Hillshuggle is yours while you're here. Help yourself." And he walks down the table and starts kind of like just like greeting people, and they all get excited when he comes by.
Did we mostly talk to Narret last time?
Yeah, it was mostly Narret and then one other member of like the the SWAT team that met you, and that was about it. Like main people that you talked to.
I'm gonna stand up and try to catch up with the leader as he's like walking away.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him a few things as well. I'll follow Jackson.
Okay.
No, I'm sipping tea, bro.
Okay, so you sit there and sip tea, and probably when they all leave, a bunch of kids come around you and are like looking at your armor because they wear like leathery type armor and stuff like that, but they don't see people in big shiny type armor and with the clock on it. They're like picking at your shield and like tapping on it, trying to figure out what it is and stuff like that.
I'll amuse them.
Yeah, they're all just very curious about what it all means. And you guys run down the table a little bit and eventually catch up to the leader. He's not going very quickly or anything. It doesn't take you long.
Mr. Brushwood,
Yes.
is there like a more formal way to refer to you? Do you prefer Goose?
Please call me Goose.
Goose? Okay. We spoke to Narret on our way in,
Absolutely.
and just mentioned a few things that raised some concerns in my mind that I wanted to speak to you about.
Absolutely. He wasn't too hard on you. He takes his job a little too seriously sometimes, Narret.
Oh no, I know Narret. I met him when I was here last.
Good. What?
Which I wanted to thank you and everyone of Hillshuggle for being so welcoming to me last time. I know I kind of just stumbled in here and everyone was very, very welcoming. So when I had the opportunity to show my friends this place, I had to. But Narret said something about the kingdom trying to encroach on your lands and get you to join them, I guess.
They have for many years now.
He said something about a mage cloak coming through here.
They come through here every once in a while.
When was the last time they came through here?
Mm,
What?
probably not long after you were here.
Oh, they came here after I was here. Did you tell them about me?
No, they questioned me quite a bit.
Okay. That's good. Okay.
They come through every once in a while, and with me being here, and he kind of like gestures himself. You would remember last time you were here. Goose is very connected with nature. He's a druid, so they come and bother him every once in a while about his abilities. But I got Hillshuggle behind me, so they haven't been able to get me out of here yet. They are right assholes, though.
They
All
are.
of them.
They're looking for me.
I mean, I could have guessed as much. Is that why you're on the run?
A little bit. Go ahead.
Oh, he goes, and I trust your brother here, just casting them aside.
How do you
Yes.
mean?
Well, I mean, from the looks of you, you look like a mage cloak, but from what Narret's told me, you are pulling away from them since your sister has found you.
Yeah, that was... I tried to report back to him to keep my
Face?
face with them so that I could receive information just in case, but I'm pretty sure I butchered that, so...
He's
We're on
not.
the line.
I usually am the one that does the talking.
It's understandable. It might be for the best, though. Those mage cloaks seem like they're into some shifty business, and they always come through here with some kind of crown's guard. They usually come along when they come to hound us about joining Westopia.
Hide your magic users.
Well, as far as I know, I'm the only one here right now.
Okay. Well, then just be wary when they're here.
I am, but with all these guys, and he like grabs a couple of friends and like pulls them into him, I think we'll be okay, and just kind of pushes them away.
Well, what I've learned since I've been back is magic comes in many different forms. Like what I'm able to channel isn't the same as maybe what you do or someone else, like, Therion or anything. Is that what they want, to understand the different forms of magic? Like, I don't.
I think that's what has them confused more than anything. They are. Well, obviously, you feel it, maybe not here, and you realize that since you've gotten to Hillshuggle, where Therion, even though you're not around, your whole life worshiping the gods and everything, you gained your magic through that. You always felt a little disconnected from the gods. And Ophelia, you always felt kind of disconnected, and then you were reconnected when you went to Jewel Tross, and that disconnect kind of came back as you got further into Eopea. But ever since you've arrived at Hillshuggle, that disconnect is gone. You feel as connected to magic as you ever could. Therion, you feel like you could talk to Cadencio or Hedron right now, here, if you wanted to. You don't feel any sort of disconnect from them at this time. And he continues and he goes, maybe not here, but I know the rest of Eopea is feeling that the loss, the diminishing of magic. And I think the fact that we're all so different is why they can't figure out how to bring it back. And
If they're even trying to.
that's what I have been worried about a lot. I feel like I was around when the mage cloaks were created. And when they first started, they seemed good intentioned. They seemed like that was what they were trying to do, was bring magic back to Eopea. Restore it to its full strength, as it just seems to be getting weaker and weaker. But as the years gone by, I feel like they've gotten desperate. And people do desperate things when times are desperate.
Mm.
And I think that's where they are. And whether they mean to or not, sometimes I wonder if they're doing more harm than good, or if they've lost that vision that they had when they were created. Either way, I'm weary, and anybody I meet with abilities such as yours, I hope that you are being weary as well.
Yeah. About that. They might come asking questions about us.
I'm sure they will.
Can we trust you to not answer them?
I would never give you up, please.
I appreciate
Do you have a secluded area of forest that seems more potent magically?
Up Falls, I believe, could potentially be that area.
You mean like where magic is full?
Yeah.
Like stronger?
Yeah. And he goes, well, coming out from Ubbin Falls, Hillshuggle, this whole woodland here that we live in, somehow is in some kind of bubble that seems to be slightly exempt from whatever caused magic to start fading in Eopea. As long as you're here, you're at the full extent of your abilities. without a worry in the world.
Interesting. And I'm gonna kind of excuse myself and walk out into the forest alone.
Looks at you, Ophelia. He's a quiet fella.
Yeah,
Seems troubled.
I haven't really. I don't really know him anymore. We grew up together. I mean, he's my twin brother, but for the last 17 years, we've led completely different lives, and I don't really know how to know him.
That happens with time. Believe me, after 23 years? Oh, God, I don't even want to think about that. You learn a thing or two, and maybe you should just get to know the brother that you knew before this all happened. He's in there. I know it. And maybe with that, you can get to know the new brother that you know now.
I mean, there's things that he doesn't know about me either.
Maybe you should share some of those with him. If you're comfortable. It's could lead into a more understanding of your guys' new relationship. You may never be able to get that old one back, but there's nothing wrong with starting new.
Appreciate your wisdom. And your hospitality. I'll stop bothering you now. I will see you at supper.
And he just kind of
I'll
looks
walk
at you.
away.
He just kind of like, you can like feel him almost like glaring at you, not like in an angry way, but just kind of, you can feel him like looking through you as you walk away. And then you just kind of hear him chuckle as he starts talking to another person, and you kind of, that feeling goes away. Jackson?
Yeah.
You wander out into the Veneman
I'm gonna
woodlands.
walk until I find like a small pond or river or creek or something that kind of is just slowly flowing through.
Yeah, you walk for probably a good maybe 20 minutes to a half an hour, but eventually you hear the running of water, and you find a very small like stream, kind of just like bubbling over a couple of rocks.
I'm gonna take off all my armor and like unclip all my weapons and stuff, and just kind of kneel next to the creek. And he'll kind of like wash his face off for a second, and then just look up into the trees, and if there's any gods or extra-dimensional beings listening, I'd love some help.
And yeah, you take a minute, and you're kneeling there on the ground. You feel the breeze kind of pick up, and the leaves start to rustle in the trees that were kind of blocking the sky, in a thicker part of the woods, and they rustle just enough to where you feel the sun stream down on you, and it's very warm. All of Hillshuggle is a little bit warmer than what it has been around the rest of Eopea as you guys have been walking, but once the sun hits you, you kind of get like goosebumps as it warms up your body. And it just kind of like sits on you for a little bit as the leaves rustle, and then eventually they start to slow down, and the gap kind of fills back in between the trees, and the sun goes away. and it goes back to the dead woods that it was before.
I think he'll just kneel there and just meditate for a while.
Okay. And as you do that, Therian, is there anything you wanted to do while your friends were off?
I think I want to just like walk around the town, kind of see like where things are and see if there's like any kind of temple or anything like that.
Make a perception check. Okay. As you're walking around the town, you notice first like everything. You don't see like shops or anything like that. If people are giving each other things, this seems to be like bargaining and trading. Nobody owns like a shop. You don't see any signs for any shops or like taverns or anything like that. It just seems like houses. You don't see anything that resembles any kind of temple. You would remember from before that they did mention that they do worship Golterin as their primary god, but you don't see like a temple to them. They don't seem like they like actively look to worship him in a certain way. It's just kind of like when extraordinary things happen, that's who they explain it with. But you notice some people are like baking stuff, cooking stuff over small fires in front of their houses. Some people are sitting there sewing. Everybody's laughing and talking with each other. Even you walk by a couple of people that are like sparring. They all seem pretty well built and well capable to fight. They all have bows on them and spears on them. But you walk by and you see a couple people that have taken out their spears and they're poking at each other and hitting each other back and forth, just kind of sparring. And like it just kind of goes on for that. Hillshuggle is kind of like more of like a long line through the woods instead of like a clump of a town. So you kind of walk down this line past the table as people are getting up from afternoon tea and they start doing all these things that you're watching them do. They're just kind of like going about their business, and none of them seem bothered by you. A couple of them wave at you and say hello, tip their hats to you, stuff like that.
I want to find like the people that are like using the spears and stuff.
Okay. So yeah, they're just kind of like sitting there poking at each other, and you hear them like ha, and then one will they're like dulled spears, so they'll get him like right in the stomach, and he'll be like, ugh, and he'll like flop to the ground like super dramatically, and then they immediately stand back up and go again.
Excuse me.
Oh, hello.
Hi. Do you think you could teach me how to use that?
And he like looks down at like this. It's a very crude, just like wooden spear with like a stone head at the top of it. And he looks down and he goes, "You want to know how to use this? When you have that?" And he points to the mace hanging from your belt.
I would like to have a nice variety of choices.
And like he looks at his friend that he was sparring with, and the friend kind of just like shrugs, like, okay. And he goes, "By all means, here." And he hands it to you. And he backs up and he kind of like gestures to the ground to where he was standing, and the other one gets in like a position. He's like, "You ready?"
As ready as I'm gonna be.
Okay. Roll initiative.
No.
I have a spell that's supposed to help with that.
All right, let me. No, I want there. No, where'd it go? There it is.
Jackson's a little lost right now.
Hey, that's called character development, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay,
Oh,
but
yay!
that's good. So he goes to like lunge at you. And what would you like to do?
I probably like don't have my shield out,
Mm-hmm.
and so I probably just like step out of the way.
Oh, you just like scared.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so he like lunges at you and he kind of like stumbles, not expecting you to fall out of the way, expecting to hit you, and he kind of like stumbles and he falls back and he goes, "Well, you're not supposed to move. This is sparring, and you're wearing this." And he like taps your armor and it like clangs. Realize like you're not gonna get hurt, and he gets back in his position. He goes, "Try again. You come at me."
Okay, I'll just thrust the spear.
Okay,
forward.
make a it would just be like a. Like
Is
a
it just
strength
strength?
check. Yeah, just like a straight strength check because you have no idea how to use this. Okay, so you go to like lunge forward and like you can tell that like you're meant to swing things. You go to like lunge forward and like out of instinct you like slash down the spear and he just quick jumps out of the way and goes, "What was that?" And he goes, "No, let me show you." And he said he takes the spear from you and sets it on the ground in front of you, and he goes, "You stand there. Don't worry, it'll be fine." And he goes and like jumps back and forth a little bit, kind of like juking you out, and all of a sudden he's next to you and he goes and pokes up and it goes like right into the side of your ribs. It gets like caught in your chainmail, so it doesn't really hurt, but it just kind of like pokes into you and he goes, "That's how you want to do it." And he jumps around again and gets on your other side before you can even see it, and he goes and pokes it up and it kind of gets underneath the plate on your chest, and he goes, "Just like that, you have to find their weak points. This isn't your mace." And he says, "Give me the mace. Give it to me."
I hand him like the 30-pound mace.
He goes and he's not that strong, but he's not that weak either. So he kind of like, oh god, and he takes it with two hands and he goes and he chucks it off into the woods. He goes,
That's it.
"We'll get it back later. Just forget that it even exists." And he goes, "Try again." And he says, like ushers for the spear.
Mace. I just pick up this.
He says, "Try again. Come at me."
I think I try to like mimic his like halfling movements, but I'm in my chainmail, so it's a little slower. It's like,
oh yeah. And he's just like standing there, like waiting, like bobbing up and down, like a video game character, just like ready to go.
And then you want me to just roll it again?
Yep, roll another one. There you go. So he kind of like jumps out of the way. You swing once, and he jumps out of the way, and you pull back, and you go and swing again, kind of getting that more of a poking attack instead of a slashing one. And he jumps out of the way, and then you poke one more time, and you hit him square in the chest, and he goes, "Yes, just like that. Do it again. Do it again." This time, you step back, and he's jumping up and down, and before he even like gets back into his ready position, you go and you lunge, and you hit him right in the gut, and it kind of knocks him on his butt. And he goes, "Oh, that was a good one." And he stands back up, and he goes, You could be good with this one day. You got to get out of that mindset."
Yeah, I just need to throw my mace into the forest.
Exactly.
Before
Once
I
it was
steer.
out of sight, out of mind, and look at you. Look at you go. But why would you want to use something like this? Look at you. You're a fighter.
You never know when bad things can happen. You don't know what you'll do. I just would like to be prepared for any situation.
And he goes, "Well, you gotta appreciate a man who is prepared." And he ushers over like three little kids, and they run over, and he bends down and he goes, "Guys, over in the woods over there is a very large, very shiny, spiked ball with a handle coming out of it. The first one to get it gets first dibs at dinner tonight." And they all go, "I'm gonna get it!" And they all go running into the woods to look for it. And he walks over to like this rack that they have built that has you see like 20 spears on it. A couple of them are the dulled down ones that you guys are using, but he grabs one that has like a pointed end on it, and he goes, "Here, we have plenty of them. We make them all the time. Take this.
Are you sure?
Practice."
Is there anything I can teach you?
He goes, "Well, I'm not going to swing that thing." And as like he points, and you see all three kids are like grabbing it by the handle and dragging it hard through the woods. Like it's making like a crater in the ground as they try and drag it. They're unable to like pick it up all the way. And they go, "I found it first." And they all start arguing about who found it first. And he goes, Okay, you all can go first at dinner. Just go." And they all run off. And you see them grab smaller spears and they start poking each other with them. And he picks up your mace and he hands it back to you. And he goes, I can't use something like that. And
I have tea from my church. We make it local. If you would like to try some of that. I know it seems like tea is a important thing around here.
he goes, absolutely, I'm always down to try some tea. And he runs over and he up against like a stump on the ground. He has his backpack and he pulls out of his backpack his teacup that they all carry with them. And he sits down at the stump and sets the teacup on top of the stump. And like it's like a makeshift table. And he just sits there.
Well, the tea is. We brought a cart. We have like a cart of things.
You don't have the tea
cart
on you?
You're not always ready for tea?
Maybe I look through my backpack. Do I have any tea in my backpack?
Do you have tea in your backpack?
I don't know. I don't think I have tea in my backpack.
He goes, oh, God, how far away is this cart? You can't promise a man tea and then make him walk for it.
I can go get it and then come back.
Absolutely, please. And he stands back up and grabs his spear and they start sparring again.
I'm going to go get some of the tea from the cart.
Okay. So it takes you a couple minutes, but you come back.
Yeah.
And they're sparring.
I just as I walk up, I just hold the tea bags in the air.
And they go, finally. And now both of them sit down and pull out their teacups.
No.
He goes, well, then I guess you're not having any.
I have some for me too.
You have for all three of us?
Yeah, I just grabbed
Oh, okay. Well, come on, let's go.
I'm like, here.
And they sit in there like, oh, this is wonderful. Where is this from?
It's from Ferris.
Ferris. Interesting. That's a long ways away.
Hometown.
And you said you're a man of the church?
Correct.
Look at you and they go, you don't look like you worship Golterin.
Not Golterin.
It's a shame.
It's Cadencia.
Cadencia.
And that guy just
Cadencia. Cadencia. That's that weird time god, right?
Yes, correct.
You worship her?
Yeah.
Isn't that dangerous? They say not to mess with time, and I imagine anybody who has the powers of time can be a dangerous fella.
All of this, and I point to my armor and my shield and the tome. This was all my father's and his before, my grandfather's. Been in my family for as long as I know. I don't know why everybody worshipped him. We don't have a church of Cadencia in Paris. But something tells me that there is a purpose.
And they both look at each other, very confused, and they go, hold on. You worship Cadencia. You're a man of Cadencia's church, but you don't work at a church of Cadencia.
I worship Cadencia and Hedron.
Who's Hedron?
The morality.
The what?
God of morality.
I didn't realize there were so many of them.
Yeah, I'm also learning that there's a lot more than I realized.
Well,
they all play their part.
exactly, and knowledge can't hurt anybody. Whether you worship Golterin or not, you seem like a fine fella, so maybe this Cadencia isn't so bad.
What is Golterin the god?
Golterin, the god of beasts and barks alike.
I was just curious.
Of course. He kind of ushers around to all of Hillshuggle. He goes, he keeps us safe. Protects
I can
us.
You seem to have a very strong connection to the gods here. Not just Golterin. I even sense Cadencia.
There's something weird about Hillshuggle. It's an old folklore that none of us really know that we really if it's true or not, but it's a good story, and we all listen to it and believe it as much as we can, but something weird about Hillshuggle that keeps the woodlands are always green. We never have a winter.
Really?
It's always fruitful, healthy here.
Do you think that could have something to do with Oven Falls?
Possibly.
What is the deal with Oven Falls? I've only heard terrible things happen there.
Not all of them are completely terrible. We've gone there a couple times, not all of us. A couple of us just kind of checking it out. We've heard stories. I've never been there personally, but from the stories, it's just a waterfall, but weird things tend to happen. From one story, I guess, the water shifted. A couple of hobbits were just swimming in the water, fishing. And a waterfall goes down. All of a sudden, they were sitting in the river, and the current from going down switched, went right back up, including the waterfall. It just shot up the waterfall, and I guess one halfling got caught in it, went flying a little higher than what they would have liked, but they're okay now.
Thank goodness. And Galtair. And he tried. Just thank gods.
Yeah. Thank the gods he's okay, but just weird things like that. Water goes in the wrong direction. Gravity doesn't always work on it, apparently. And then with Oven Falls, it's just like here in Hillshuggle. It's in this weird bubble that we're all just always okay. It's always nice. It's always green. Nothing. The nature doesn't die. We're not immortal because of it, but nature seems to be fine. Almost like we're frozen here in time here in Hillshuggle.
In time, huh?
Yes. Which, if it has something to do with your weird time goddess, makes a little more sense.
Maybe there's something about Oven Falls that has to do with it then.
It might not be worth, or it might not be the worst place to check out, but be careful of those pesky waterfalls. Water rises.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Like a geyser.
Like a geyser, but
A water
waterfall.
rise.
Water.
A water rise.
Yeah, and then they're all just like confused, trying to think of what it would actually be.
I
As
appreciate your time.
Yeah, and as they continue sipping their tea and whatnot, they go, well, of course. And if you need anything else while you're here, please.
I'll bring more tea.
Absolutely. If you bring more tea, anything.
And then I think I'll just like get up and kind of like I'll leave like 2 more tea bags each for them.
And they both probably like cheer and they clang their glasses together.
And then I'll just keep walking around.
Okay.
Just like staying in my thoughts.
Okay. So as you guys continue to walk around, kind of just take in Hillshuggle, and kind of gain your own footing here, think about why you're here and what you're doing. Eventually, it does the sun starts to set, starts to get a little darker. You see there's a horn that plays, a high-pitched like horn, and everybody kind of starts dropping what they're doing, and they all start gathering at the table. They bring plates and silverware. You see a couple of them are bringing huge like platters of different food, and they set it on the table, and they all start running towards the table, and eventually all of Hillshuggle is vacant except for at the huge long table that runs through the middle of Hillshuggle. And they all sit there for a minute. And eventually Goose comes back out from wherever it was that he slunk away to. He goes, well, I don't know why you guys still wait on me. Dinner is served. And they all cheer and they clang their glasses together and they all start grabbing food. It's around 6 o'clock as they start having dinner.
I think I'll just go get in the line.
Okay. You go and just sit down at the table. One of them looks at you and goes, "Hey, you're gonna need your own plate." Did you
I'm
bring
like,
those?
of course. Like I grab like my mess kit out of my backpack.
Good man. And he looks at the rest of you and goes, "You need a plate?"
I know
I'm
how
not
this place
there.
works.
What'd you say,
So I
Jackson?
have a plate.
I'm not there.
Okay. So yeah, you sit down, Ophelia, with your plate, and I imagine you sit at least near Therian.
I'll sit with Darion.
Okay. So yeah, you sit with Therian as they all sit down and they start piling their plates full of food. A couple of them put scoops of food onto your plate just out of like kindness, just trying to usher along the process. But you do notice that Jackson isn't there with you.
Where's your brother at?
I don't know. We spoke to Goose earlier and he wandered off. What did you get up to?
I look up to like the spear that's like in between like my backpack and armor, and I'm like, I did a little bit of training, enjoyed some tea.
Oh, I know that guy. He's the one that gave me my sling. You know,
Very
the one
nice
that I
man.
was shooting the Vargas with? Ended up working out well.
It did come very much in hand.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm very excited to get to Oven Falls.
Did you know that your father had been through here before?
I did not. I mean, I guess in hindsight, I could have thought about it, considering Oven Falls is in my tome of time. But
Well, maybe there's no way for you to really know. I mean, how are you taking it? I just wanted to make sure you're.
honestly, it gets me excited
Yeah.
to feel like I've been working on this. Like I just gestured at all of my armor and stuff since I was 15. And that was 13 years ago. And to finally be getting such huge breakthroughs into possibly what could have happened, I mean, it's almost a strange feeling. Because I was just stuck on it for so long, and you all showed up, and everything just started clicking.
Are you and your father close?
Extremely.
What's his name?
Lucan.
Lucan?
Yes. Lucan Windwaker. And then
It's been good.
Oh, I was just gonna say, me and him, I had been helping him in the church and around Silith and Fair since I was 5, 6. And so, I mean,
My father and I were very close as well.
it's a good thing to be close.
It's been a very long time since I've seen him too.
Do you know, if you don't mind me asking, where or what happened, or?
No, I wasn't so lucky as to be left a cipher when he left.
Did he just disappear?
No. He left one day. He said to protect me. Everything he ever did was to protect me. These mage cloaks, I think, they've been on my tail since I was 10. And every effort he ever made was to keep them away. But then one day he left. was 16. I don't know where he went. He didn't tell me anything.
Do you think it could have been to throw the mage cloaks off of his lead? Maybe they had figured out that while we're together, by him leaving, and maybe he just didn't have enough time.
I'm sure it was something like that because he wouldn't just leave me. He loved me. But I don't know. It's been so long I haven't spoken to him. I know he's out there somewhere, and I know it's not quite the same situation as yours. But seeing you taking steps to finding your father kind of gives me hope to maybe one day finding mine.
Well, don't worry. I will help you as you've helped me. We're on this quest to find our fathers together.
Seems like it.
It is kind of ironic we all have daddy issues.
I mean, he left Jackson when Jackson was 10.
I do think we should try to find Jackson here soon.
We should.
I just know I also need to talk to Goose.
You need to talk to Goose?
Yes.
I'll go looking for Jackson. I probably need to talk to him. I don't know what's going on with him. I mean, he's my twin brother and we grew up together, but it's been 17 years since I've seen him. He's not the same person.
If Jackson has been working for the Mage Cloaks, I know from personal experience what the Mage Cloaks are capable of, and I can only imagine working for them with his, I don't know if it would be considered magic or not, but all of the things that he's able to do. And I mean, he seems conflicted about something, but it could be something that he is working on.
Probably haven't made it any easier on him.
Just give him time. It takes
I'll find him.
17 years you haven't seen each other, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably now we're finally having a little bit of peace. It's probably all finally settling in that, you know, he's finally found his sister. His sister's on the run from the Mage Cloaks, his former employer. Now we're all on the run from the Mage Cloaks and everybody in Eopea. And so there's a heavy burden to try and carry on your own. And he could be feeling that it's his alone. Without all of you, I couldn't even imagine being on the run like this.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't figure out that cipher without us, so.
Exactly. I worked years.
Oof.
And Ziddlezap got it in an hour.
Hey, I don't talk about it.
Hey, sometimes it just takes fresh eyes.
Just
You know, you look
a
at one
different
thing for
mind.
so long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I'm sure she just needs time. He'll come around.
You're a good man, Thera.
When he comes back, we'll all be here. You could send, what is your familiar's name?
JJ.
Jay?
You could send JJ to swing around for him.
Swing around.
JJ may help me in my search, but I don't want him to. If he's in a vulnerable state, I don't want him to be found by a monkey that I named after him.
He was spied on by a monkey.
I think I should be the one to look for him.
Well, I'm going to find a goose.
Okay.
If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you. Same for you.
Make it seamless. And I just
Send it right back at you.
You too, bro.
Okay.
And also with you.
And with your spirit.
Stop.
Oh God.
Wait, that would make perfect sense for
Yeah,
her saying
because
with
you're
your
a spirit switch.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
there it is. So you go looking for Jackson, Ophelia.
Yep.
Okay. So, you get up from the table. The hobbits here eat for a long time. They don't speed through their meals. They eat a lot. They eat what they want, everything that they want to eat. So you probably get done eating and leave, and they're not even halfway done. But you start wandering out into the woods. It'd probably take you a little bit longer, not knowing exactly what Jackson was looking for, but after maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour or so, eventually it's getting darker out. You stumble
I have dark
upon
vision.
you stumble upon a small creek running through the woods. Is that where Jackson stayed?
Yep.
The whole time. And eventually you've probably come through the woods, and about 60 or so feet away you see the shadow, the shape of Jackson kneeling by the creek.
Jackson, I brought you dinner. It's cold now. I had to walk a while. I'll bring him
He just
in
kind
for
of turns to greet you. I appreciate that.
you. You okay?
I don't know. My life has become exceedingly confusing in the past week.
You could say that again.
I'm just looking for direction, I guess. I called out to anything that's listening, really. I think it was Palumus,
Who's that?
god of sunlight.
Hmm.
I don't know. It was brief. So I just decided to stay here.
You all right? You choking
I'm
on
fine.
a chicken bone? Pat him on the back.
Excuse me, I don't know where that came from.
I told you it was cold. I don't know, it hardened a little on the walk here. Anyway,
Pretty warm over here most of the day.
yeah, there's something interesting about Hillshuggle that I can't quite put my finger on.
Yeah, there's some powerful something.
I feel like maybe we got off on the wrong foot.
How so?
I don't know what I expected when I found you. I mean, to say I've dreamt of reuniting with you is an understatement. I feel like every path I've ever taken has led me back to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be lying if I were to say you were what I was expecting to find.
I understand that.
I'm sure I'm not what you were expecting either.
You don't You don't look too much different from when you left.
It's not looks entirely, it's
Experience.
life. I mean, we spent the first 10 years of our lives together and the last 17 apart. There was no way to really anticipate who each other was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
We each have 17 years of experience that the other doesn't know of. I'm sure there are things that maybe you're not ready to tell me, and there are things that I'm not quite ready to tell you. And I'm sorry if anything I've said.
There's nothing about you that has me confused at this very moment. It's nothing about the party that we're with. It's nothing about Therian, nothing about Ziddlezab. It's more personal, I suppose. I just don't understand my place in all of this. I don't understand where I'm supposed to go or what I'm supposed to do. I mean, we're operating off breadcrumbs from a cipher that mentioned Albin Falls, and I don't see how I fit into that.
Believe me. Oh, believe me, I know how you feel.
I mean, it's great for Therian. I hope he finds what he's looking for. And I'll help him achieve all of the goals that he wants to achieve. I just don't know my place.
We need to find our own father.
I don't know.
That's my direction.
Right.
I need to find him. I don't know if I expect him to have answers, or I just need to hug my dad.
Mm-hmm. I can take him or leave him. I've been on my own for so long. But I'll help you find him.
Jackson, I'm so sorry.
It's not your fault.
It
We're
is,
children.
though. It is. It's all my fault. Everything that happened was my fault.
We were children. He made the decision to take you and leave.
Because of what I did.
But you had no control over that. And it's not guilt you should bear.
I didn't
That's
know
not a
what was
burden
gonna
you should
happen.
carry. I mean, he'll answer to me one way or the other.
I don't.
If we're gonna find him, he's gonna face me either way.
Do you?
I'm not gonna hurt him. That's not my goal. I'll be stern with him, but I don't want to hurt him.
I don't think he ever meant to hurt you.
I don't know. And I was left alone. A monster of a mother. I had to find my own way. I mean, he knew what he was leaving behind. And that's on him. And he'll answer for that.
I didn't want to leave you.
I know. Like I said, this isn't your burden to carry. It's his wrong he needs to right, and I don't know if he'll be able to do that, even if we do find him. In this life or the next, he'll answer for
Oh, don't become one of those angry spirits. They're scary.
it. I'm not angry. More
You know
just
what?
lost and confused, I think.
It's the angry, vengeful ones that are the loudest.
Right. And I'm stoic, and I'm forthcoming. I'm not vengeful or hateful in any manner. But he's gonna get an earful. That's for damn sure. I don't understand what I called out for help finding direction, and I got trees opening and a sunbeam hit me, and that's it. I don't. Even the gods don't know what I'm supposed to do.
You know, those types of forces beyond our understanding are often quite vague. I do
You'd
my
think-
best to interpret them, you know, through cards, through
Yeah.
whispers, through directions. But a lot of times you have to make your own message from it. They showed you what they meant to show you, and you figure out what it means to you.
But I wasn't shown anything.
That's what you think.
I guess. What would the gods want with a mutant like me anyway?
Don't say that.
I'm a hunter. That's my place in this world. I was made to be that way.
I don't know my place either. All I've ever done is run, hide, change who I am, to the point where I don't even really know who I am anymore.
I suppose we should help Therion, though.
Therion is a good man.
He is. He deserves to find his father.
What the hell are we gonna do with Zilzat, though?
I don't know.
That little goblin.
Keep him along for as long as he'll have us, I guess. And hopefully this thing that keeps bothering him isn't malicious towards us.
Jackson.
Hmm?
And I grab him by the shoulders. I love you no matter what.
Love you too.
And I give him a hug.
Suppose we should get back to Therion and Zilzap.
I hear there's a special story we have to hear.
Let's hear it then. I'll throw my armor and weapons back on and follow Ophelia back to camp.
Okay. So as you guys start heading back to camp, as it's getting pretty late out, it's getting darker. You guys see, on your way, you see a bright light coming from Hillshuggle, and like a plume of smoke in the air. And the light just keeps getting brighter and brighter as you're walking back. But as you guys start walking towards that orange firelight, we're gonna take a quick break. So we'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 7th
You said that
episode
right when we went
of
live.
Secrets of Lost Summon. I'm pretty sure everybody just heard that. Yeah, it was like right as I clicked the unmute button.
Kyle just goes, "Oh no."
I'm used to it. Hey,
Yes.
there was no Gotta Blast, so I mean, I guess that's a plus.
Just OnlyFans.
Yeah, sure.
Got a blast.
There it was. Okay, now we got both. So yeah, welcome back, guys. My jukebox still isn't working. Oh! It started playing music. Go back.
My cake keeps falling apart.
I've just been listening to my own playlist.
Oh, you're fine. I'm just trying to get it like working so it's in the background for like
Yeah, so at least the
audience
VODs
and
have
stuff,
it.
right? And like, I cleared my cache or whatever because that's what the internet told me to do. And
Clear cookies. And stuff.
yeah, and it worked for 20 minutes after that, and then it stopped working again, and I was like, bruh.
It's being really annoying.
Yeah. So, anyway, we're back here for about another hour or so of Dungeons and Dragons. Therian, while Jackson and Ophelia were having their conversation, was there anything you wanted to do?
I want to go find Goose.
Okay, he's at like the head of the table because they're all eating dinner.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go up and like see if there's a seat available.
Yeah, I'm sure you walk up, and even if there's not, he's like, well, make some room, and you see like a bunch of hobbits kind of just scoot down a little bit.
Thank you.
Of course, something troubling you.
Were we supposed to talk at supper?
This is dinner.
When's supper?
Supper's after dinner.
What?
I love these fucking halflings.
He goes,
dude. Oh my
you
God.
know that?
I
We
have
have,
supper. And
we have dinner, and in a couple hours is when we get around the fire and we have supper.
Oh. Well, the more you know.
Don't fill yourself up too much now.
Don't worry, I can eat. I just take a bite of my food.
He goes and takes a bite that's like 3 times the size of yours. So yeah, you sit there and you eat with him.
Yeah.
And they all just keep eating, and I mean they eat for probably a good hour, and this whole time Ophelia's off talking to Jackson and finding him and whatnot. And then Therian, you would see as soon as they were done eating, like it's playing now. It's kind of working, so we'll see how long that lasts. They immediately like get up, clean up their mess and everything, and get everything back to their house. And they've eaten for maybe an hour and a half. So they immediately start grabbing wood, and they start heading kind of into the woods a little bit away from their houses. And they almost immediately start setting up this campfire that they prepare for supper every night. And they set up this campfire, and you watch. They have this huge fire pit that almost all of them can fit around. With like benches and whatnot all around it and stuff like that, and they set it all up, and they start up the kindling, and they start up the fire, and that is about 2 hours after they've been done eating. Everybody kind of gets ready, starts making the food for supper, which is in about an hour after that. You guys can kind of get settled down, and Jackson and Ophelia, you make it back to not the heart of Hillshuggle, but a little out of the way. Towards you is where that orange glow that you saw was the fire that they were building. So you walk back out of the woods, like right on the campfire that they've made.
We can see Therian from where we're walking.
Would you just go to the campfire?
Yeah.
Or hang around the campfire, Therian?
Yeah, I'd probably help them get it all ready and stuff.
Yeah, so you probably see him helping out a couple of halflings, tossing wood onto the fire and stuff like that. Even every once in a while, they hand him an axe, and have him start chopping up some of the wood that they haven't gotten done quite yet and whatnot. But yeah, you see him near the campfire.
I'm gonna beeline it right to Therian.
Okay.
With Ophelia and Tail, obviously.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, you're just chopping some wood there, and Jackson and Ophelia are coming straight at you out of the woods.
Oh, Jackson, Ophelia.
Therian.
You guys.
I'm gonna get like close to you, like not like okay. So like I'll put my hand like over your shoulder, and like I'll kind of like scoot Ophelia into me as well. I'm like, I think Palumis reached out to me.
That's great. That's wonderful.
How do you commune with your gods?
Well, I mean, I do a mixture of things. Between prayer and honestly constantly talking to them, whether it's out loud or in my head.
Do they speak back to you? Do you know how to talk to them specifically?
The ghosts do.
The gods are not like your spirits. They act in
Right. It just felt
many-
very personal and comforting.
Tell me what happened.
Well, I walked out into the woods to kind of clear my head, right? And try and find direction. And I just called out to anything that was listening. The trees above me opened, and a very comforting, warm ray of sunlight sat on me for a couple hours.
I would definitely agree that sounds like Palumis reaching out their hand. The gods come to you at you're either most vulnerable whenever you are in need of help. And from what it sounds like, you allowed yourself to open up to them and to accept that help from something greater than all of us. And to have Palumis, is that the name of it?
Mm-hmm.
To have Palumis reach out and stay for an hour, 2 hours, however long it was, is a wonderful thing. And the gods are very accepting of the people they want, you know. And for you to not ask for a specific god or to have a god find you it's very good.
I'm assuming that doesn't happen very often.
The gods interact with most everybody, but to have such a extended amount of time, even if it was no talking, if it just felt like they were just there, to feel that presence, not everybody gets to experience that, correct? Especially not people who are like me, where I am a very religious man, and I talk to the gods all the time, and you know, they are very much incorporated in my life, the things that I do, and I don't know, you could be super religious. I didn't strike you to be that way, or maybe if you were, definitely not as much as I.
I've never been religious, but I needed something, and I got an answer. I just don't know what to do next.
If you'd like, you can always join me in prayer. I pray every night before I go to bed.
Sure, I'll join you. I'll join you tonight.
I mean, honestly, that is a big thing with me. Is the tea. That was just one of the things that I did with my father, and it was something we always did at the church. We'd always have tea with our big praying groups and get-togethers, and so I'd be honored for you to join me in praying and share a glass of tea tonight.
Is the storyteller out yet?
I believe that'll be soon.
Yeah, you see as like Hillshuggle, as you guys are talking, they're starting to kind of gather. They start sitting on their benches. They all have their tea and whatnot. As they sit down, they start passing around the teapots and whatnot.
Tea and biscuits.
Yep.
Certainly. I'm joining them for supper.
Absolutely. And they all sit down, get gathered, and Goose walks up and greets him, and he goes, "Well, another supper, another day we've made together, and we have our guests here. Who?" He kind of just chuckles. You hear this very audible. Everybody gets real quiet when Goose comes out, and Jackson just every time. He goes, "Well, they're here for a particular reason, and I think the history of Hillshuggle might be a little bit of a light in their journey, their quest. So please, everybody, you all know him, give it up." And he kind of just like gestures off to the side, and this very well dressed compared to the other halflings around here. They're all very like nature based. He's got like one of those like poofier shirts on and has an overcoat that's kind of like patched together. It's not very. You can tell that he still made it out here, but he's trying to look a little more upper class than the rest of the halflings. Comes out and he goes, "Sharfer, take it away." And he comes out and he goes,
Sharper?
"Sharfer." Yeah.
Sharfer. That's a cool name. I like that name. Sharfer Higginbottom.
Not the Higginbottom.
Not the Higginbottoms.
Very proud family. Hillshuggle.
He comes out and he goes, "Well, I hope you'll help me in the telling of the story there, Goose." And he goes, "I always do." And he goes and sits down in a chair off to the side, or on the bench off to the side. And Sharfer kind of gets up on a stump that's close to the fire, and he goes, "Well, I know a lot of you already know this story, but our esteemed guests need to know the history of Hillshuggle and how we came to be."
Bruh.
What do you mean, Kat?
They look fine to me.
Oh, never mind.
I think
I
it just
turned my
flashed on
camera
screen.
off for a second.
Oh,
on
okay.
accident.
You're good. Sorry. I saw that and I was like, they look fine. I'm so confused. And he goes, "Well, over 180 years ago, Hillshuggle was nothing more than 9 hobbit families living in tandem along the Airedale Lake." And you watch as the fire kind of like curls up as Goose is kind of waving his staff back and forth, and it forms like 9 halfling-looking shapes. And he goes, "They remained peaceful and secluded in a time of war. It wasn't until the Ice Queen's winter that they started to worry. Freezing and running low on resources, they decided it was time to leave their humble home along the lake. Amidst their departure, packing of their things, that is when the Gogglers invaded their land." And Goose makes this weird like fish-looking creature, and then he makes a bunch more of them, and it makes it look like the halflings and the fish-looking creatures are fighting in the middle of the fire. Unable to remain in their nearby frozen lake, and unable to leave, the halflings were forced to fight to survive. Eastopia's army raided them as best as they could. However, the monsters of Vrothia came to the Goggler side as well. Countless creatures and monsters bombarded old Hillshuggle, but the halflings were hardy. With the help of the royal army, they were able to hold them back. And you watch as like this entire war breaks out in the middle of the fire, of ogres and orcs on one side, and what looks like a royal type army on the other, as well as spells slinging back and forth from the fish people and humans on the other side. It's just this mess of a battle in the middle of the fire. When the battle of... Huh?
After I finish my tea and biscuits, I light my pipe as I'm watching.
Looks very official, Jackson. When the Battle of Airedale ended, only 4 families remained. The Bramblebellies, and he gestures off to a family, and they kind of bow their heads. The Rumble Sons, and he gestures to another group of halflings, and they bow their head. The Brushwoods, and everybody looks at Goose, and he goes, and the Hillshuggles. And they all kind of look back behind the fire, like towards the woods, and you guys see that there are two very crude gravestones sitting in the woods, like on the edge of the woods and where this fire pit is.
Oh.
He goes, they ran west into the Veneman woodlands here, where we are today, finding solitude in this strange, untouched bubble. Somehow this very land we stand on right now was untouched by time. The Ice Queen's winter was never able to penetrate whatever barrier is created over Hillshuggle. Not long after the construction of the town, Mrs. Hillshuggle fell ill, and unable to find a cure, she passed on. But fear not, this is not a tale of sorrow. You see, not long after that, the Ice Queen was defeated and pushed back into the heart of Rothia. Her winter disappeared throughout Eopea, but our little bubble still remains our bubble of weird magical essence. And our ancestors made everything that we have today possible. Brought us up to defend ourselves against anything that tries to hold us down again. And you watch as like everybody in the crowd cheers and hold up their spears for a minute. He goes, and today, we, the people of Hillshuggle, we are stronger and we are happier because of them. And the fire kind of curls around and makes the four families that were there, and then it makes like a huge like gathering of halflings. And you watch as like Goose kind of almost makes like a map, like a 3D map of Hillshuggle within the fire. And then he waves his staff one more time, and the fire spins and swirls, and it kind of swirls up to like a little tornado, and then settles back down into the tornado, or into the fire that it was before the story started. And a couple of halflings cheer, and then they all kind of get back to their business. They're talking to each other as Sharfer kind of hops down off his stump and walks back into the crowd and gets his cup of tea. They all kind of calm down and settle down for supper.
Interesting.
This bubble's been here forever.
And I'm gonna like nonchalantly pass my bag of pipeweed to the halfling next to me.
And takes it and takes a puff, and he goes, "Oh, that's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is wow." And he takes it and passes it further down the line. Do you stop him?
No.
He passes it down, and it goes down the line, and then comes back up, and eventually it makes its way back to you. After like this row of like a dozen halflings next to you are all like, "You can stay as long as you want.
Sylith has great pipeweed.
We need to go to Sylith now." And you see them all like get
pull
up
out a
and
bag of it. I pull out like an extra bag of it, and then I just kind of hand it to him.
And he goes, "Never mind, we don't need to go to Sylith," and they all sit back down. But yeah, they kind of all settle down and have their things. Therian, as the story was being told, you're sitting there, you saw the fire curling up into the different images that Goose was making, and you saw strange shadows behind the crowd in Hillshuggle, within the woods. They would kind of zip by, and then they'd zip the other way, and another one would go that way. You watch one go by, and it stops. And you see the face of a very impossibly old human look like in between the heads of two halflings, and it kind of just stares at you for a minute with like bewildered eyes. Kind of off-putting, and then it zips off again. You don't see it anymore now that the story's done being told. But the whole time that the story was being told, you saw these like weird shadows kind of dancing around in the woods behind all the halflings.
I'm gonna go to Goose.
He goes, "How may I help you, my boy? Did you enjoy the story?"
The story was wonderful. It was a great story. You were the one doing all of the effects of the fire and all of that, correct?
Yes.
Did you have shadows in the background? like just like right over there, and like I point to where I saw them like zipping by and stuff.
Yeah, and he looks over, and you can see like the light of the fire is kind of like dancing on the tree trunks, and you almost see another one go zipping by. But he goes, "No, I don't make shadows typically.
Did you
Just that one trick that I know within the fire."
did you see that?
See what?
It just been
He looks at you. Did you have some of? You did, didn't you? You had some of Marfire's tea, didn't you?
no. I just had my own.
Well, that's odd. I did not make any shadows, and he
There
looks
wouldn't
back,
be.
looks back at the woods and goes, I don't see anything. Are you sure you're okay, Therian?
Yes, I'm perfectly fine. I'm just excuse me. And I think I just like walk for the woods.
Okay. He kind of just nods and like watches you walk away, kind of scrunching his eyebrows at you. It was odd.
Where's Therian going?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not feeling too well. I think I'm going to go to bed.
Okay. I'm gonna follow Therian to make sure he doesn't get into any trouble.
Okay.
Rest easy. And I'll give you a little kiss on the top of your head, and then I'm gonna follow Therian.
Okay. Are you following him like stealthily, or do you just want to like walk up behind him?
No. Yeah, I'm gonna walk behind him.
Okay, so Therian, Jackson meets up behind you as you're heading into the woods.
Oh, hey, Jackson. Sorry for just like dipping like that.
Oh no, you're fine.
Did-
I'm just making sure you don't get into a tussle.
No, yeah, did you okay. When the story was going on, you saw like all of like the effects of the fire
Yeah.
and did you see the shadows zipping back and forth in the trees?
Did I see them?
You did not see any shadows.
No, I didn't see any shadows.
You didn't see, the one literally stopped and like stared at me.
I mean, did you take any of the pipe weed that went around?
No, I don't do any of that.
Okay.
I drink tea. I don't even drink alcohol.
I mean, it's not like. I mean, it's more a tobacco or hashish, but it's not like.
No, yeah, like no, I like literally don't do any. Like, I swear, I'm not crazy.
I believe
I
you.
just saw them early. I'm just gonna look.
Therian, and I'm like, I'm gonna grab your shoulders. Like, I believe you. Let's look around.
Okay.
As Jackson grabs your shoulders to try and calm you down, you see another face look at you from behind him and zip off, and you hear a.
Okay.
There was just one right behind me.
Are we in danger right now?
I don't.
Am I hearing this or no?
You're not hearing any of this.
Okay.
I'm going to.
Can you like know if some kind of use your magic like to identify good and evil, or?
I can't. I can do that. That was the thing. I'm gonna cast Detect Evil and Good.
Okay. Okay. You cast Detect Evil and Good as you continue to hear these all around you. They start to get louder and louder. You detect undead, but it's like almost all around. You can't pinpoint like where like an undead creature is. You just feel like the presence of undead around you.
Therian, are we in danger right now?
Come here.
I'm here.
Then I'm gonna cast this.
Okay.
And I'm going to touch Jackson with it.
Okay. So you touch Jackson, and like this radiant glow kind of appears around Jackson for a minute, and you feel safe, Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
But as you finish the spell, as your hands on Jackson's arms to cast the spell, You feel on your left like forearm, you feel a hand grab you, Therian.
I think I probably like swing at it, like.
Yeah, you go to swing, and then the feeling is gone. And when you stumble back, it grabs you again. And Jackson, you see this like horrifying older human, wrinkles like deeper than any that you've ever seen, almost to the point of it looks like a corpse, like stringy gray hair coming from behind, out of the back of its head, but bald on the top with like pieces of skin is starting to peel off, and it grabs you and goes, the last Wind Waker, cursed by the destiny of his forefathers, the others spared through ignorance. One mistake and your crest will be shattered, forgotten in time. Tread lightly, Therian Wind Waker, or risk unwinding your own day. And it like shakes your arm, and it starts to like fade off in like this weird dust, very Infinity War like. It kind of just, and it's gone. And your detect evil and good,
what's that?
your presence of undead, is gone. There's nothing around you. The woods go silent.
I think I just fall to like my knees, just like pale and like cold sweat dripping down my face.
I'll drop to a knee and I'll try to comfort him. What just happened? What was that?
I don't know what just happened.
Because did I see and hear all of that happened
you
right
you
there?
saw and heard all that. You didn't hear anything that like happened before that, but you saw and heard all of that.
That was a bad omen.
Yeah. Warning?
I think we need to get to Ubben Falls ASAP.
We should go first as well.
First light, yeah.
It's too late tonight. Tomorrow we go first thing.
Mm-hmm. Certainly.
Okay. So, you guys get your bearings as much as you can, Therian. You guys get yourselves up. And you start heading back towards Hillshuggle. It's pretty late now. Probably around 10 o'clock at night. As you get back, everybody's kind of settling in for the night. You are offered multiple homes to stay for the night. Everybody just kind of goes up and says, if you need a place to stay, I have an extra room, or I have an extra like, they're all, you have options to stay. You can stay together, you can stay separately in different houses. But they're all very welcoming. There's no tavern or anything to stay at. They all just want you to stay with them. So you guys are able to find a house to stay in. They give you everything that you need to lay down comfortably for the night. Is there anything either of you would like to do as you get settled in?
I'm just joining Therian in his prayers, but mine are to Palumas instead of Cadencia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I probably I sit down with Jackson, like I bust out like all my little stuff and I like get it all ready, and I like, now you can pray however you want. I mean, it can be done in multiple ways. You can have a holy symbol. Like I pull out like I have like the book, and I usually just use the book.
Mm-hmm.
I have a stopwatch.
I don't know the holy symbol of Palumas, but
you can literally, and like I just like do this, and like this is all it takes sometimes, and not even this.
Okay.
Just close your eyes and feel for Palumas like you did earlier, and just express yourself. Just reach out to them and see if they have anything to say to you.
Okay.
Talk about anything you need to talk to them about. The gods are not judgmental.
I'll do exactly what
everybody
Arian says.
Everybody prays in their own way. It's up to you to decide how you do that.
Okay. So you kind of get down and put your hands together and
Mm-hmm.
start praying. As Therian does the same thing next to you, but praying to Cadencia. He seems very. He's done this his whole life, so he just gets down and he does it, and it's just like this seamless thing that he does as you kind of clunkily get your way through it. But as you close your eyes, you get settled, you get kind of relaxed, get used to the idea of doing this when you've never done it your whole life. And as you say your prayer, you feel that warm light upon you again, the same as in the woods, but now you're just in this dark living room of somebody's house. You feel that warm light again. The goosebumps raise again on your arms. And you just hear this very gentle, very calming, just as if somebody was calming you down in the back of your head. And the warm feeling stays there for a minute. And then eventually, as Therian ends his prayer and as your prayer comes to an end, it kind of fades as the more damp coolness of night meets your skin.
Wow.
I can tell you have a strong connection to Balloonus, even from here.
I'm not sure how, or why.
You
Explain
could never know.
specifically.
Balloonus might just see something in you.
Possibly.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just confusing right now.
Of course. And, the gods are, as much as I hate to say it, very confusing. I've been doing this for 28 years. But just, I don't know what went on with you. And just think about everything that went on and all that happened. It's always good. I like to pray and reflect on my feelings and everything that had happened throughout the day. It really helps me be who I am. Stay true to myself.
I'll certainly reflect on it as I lay down for the night.
And I imagine we probably stay in the same place.
Yeah, you were given, sleeping bags, which I'm sure you have some, too, if you wanted to use those, but it's not the most comfortable sleep that you're with them being in, inside of trees. You're kind of just, on top of dirt and, the roots that are underneath the tree that you're inside of. But you're able to lay down, and you're able to take your rest, kind of reflecting on the day and what has happened since you've been here in Hillshuggle. And with, I know Kat's not feeling all that well, so that is where we'll pick up next time. And get everybody back at 100%, and we'll be back next time to pick up as you guys wake up the next morning in Hillshuggle.
Alrighty.
Cool, yo, dude.
Cool. So yeah, with Kat not being here at the moment, you can follow her on, I think, all of hers is the same. It's that RPG chick, right?
Yes.
On Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. I know she streams. She just started a new stream of Skyrim. And she streams Apex Legends every once in a while, so be sure to go check her out on Twitch and all those other social medias. She's super cool, so you can go and hang out with her. Down below her, where Jake usually is, you can follow him at JakeTheBard_ on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. He's kind of in between streaming right now. I know he's trying to figure out a painting stream to do with painting models and whatnot, so be sure to go and check all that out. Otherwise, he's a huge Pokemon nut, so if you love all that, you can go talk to him, hang out with him on all that stuff. And then, Tyler, you can do it yourself.
What's up, everybody? My name's Tyler, also known as Mini Knight 17 _. I played Therion tonight. I play Baes in Mundari's Curse, and I'm having a super good time. everything here at Saving Throws. These campaigns have just been absolutely off the charts amazing. Make sure to come back next time, and thanks for coming out tonight.
Cool. And then, Michael, where can people find you?
Yeah, I'm Michael, also known as Darth Brennan here on Twitch and Twitter. Over on my channel, I stream all kinds of stuff, RPGs, first-person shooters, whatever I feel like, essentially. But I play Jackson and Terrace in this campaign, and I also DM Folly of the Gods on Mondays. That campaign that last session was so good. Oh my god. But yeah, I'll let Kyle finish up with all the DM channel talk.
Cool. Hey everyone, I'm Kyle. I am obviously the Dungeon Master of this campaign, and you can catch me playing a player in our other 2 campaigns here at Saving Throws. Our next one will be on Saturday at a time. It's usually at 10 in the morning Central Time.
I believe he said.
I think he said
normal
he was
time
moving
this weekend.
Normal time? Okay, so 10 a.m. on Saturday.
No, it was like noon, 1?
Noon on Saturday.
Yeah.
You know what? Join our Discord, follow our Twitter. You'll know. It'll be there.
You'll
on
get a
Saturday.
notification.
It'll be there. On Saturday, we'll be doing Mandari's Curse, where you can catch me playing Tiki. And then, of course, come back on Monday to catch Folly of the Gods. Personally, you can follow me here on Twitch and Twitter and all this stuff at The Winking Wizard. I haven't been streaming a lot lately. I've been doing a lot here with Saving Throws, so I haven't had quite as much time. But that's where you can find me. On Twitter and stuff, I like to talk about RPGs and all that stuff, so be sure to head over there. And then, of course, follow us here at Saving Throws and join our Discord and everything, where we talk about all things Dungeons & Dragons all the time. So come hang out in there, and yeah, we'll get to know each other. But come back next time on Saturday for Mandari's Curse, and have a great night, everybody. We will see you next time, and as always, adventures assemble. Bye, guys.